I believe the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is just a little something extra. Does anyone just meet the expectations of a customer? No, it's impossible. You either exceed their expectations or you fall short. And this is what I've come to learn. Mere satisfaction is nowhere near enough. In fact, research by Fred Reichelt says customers that are either satisfied or very satisfied, 60 to 80%, that's what they describe themselves right before they defect to another brand. You know, I've worked in marketing for almost 25 years. And this is what I've come to understand. Your brand today is no longer what you tell people it is. It just isn't. It's what your customer experiences, it's how they feel, and most importantly, it's what they tell to other people. And so given the choice of either doing more or doing less, I say choose more. I went home that night on a quest. I decided to start a project that I call the Purple Goldfish Project. And I sought to find 1,001 examples of companies that did the little extra. Now I call these things a purple goldfish. Why purple and why a goldfish? The purple is an ode to an iconic American city and its most famous event. That city is New Orleans, and the event is Mardi Gras. Purple is one of 3 official colors: purple, green, and gold. And the reason why it's an ode to New Orleans is there's one word that comes from New Orleans that exemplifies this entire concept. One Creole word. In fact, one word that Mark Twain once said was worth traveling to New Orleans to get. And that one word is called lagniappe. This is a study by IBM. They talk about how essentially customers now, their expectations are greater than they've ever been. Here's what they found. They said more than 3 out of 4 customers that you deal with, they not only expect you to know them as an individual, but they expect you to understand what their needs are. Here's the second thing they found. 4 out of 5 customers, 81%, they expect faster and faster response times with the brands that they now deal with. And lastly, 2 out of 3, and this speaks directly to omnichannel, they expect that the brands that they work with are going to harmonize the experience that they have. Meaning if they're interacting in one channel, they expect if they go into another, they're not going to miss a beat. And I went home that night on a quest, and I wanted to look for companies that didn't focus just on the eyeballs and the earlobes, but actually focused on their customers and their employees to do the little things that get to the heart of those customers and employees. Now, a little bit of trivia here. The distance between the stem of your brain and the top of your heart is exactly 9 inches. Lopsiding is about actually leaning into what makes you different and actually amplifying it to take it to the next level. Think about cough syrup. Has anybody ever drank anything and said, ooh, this tastes good, it's like cough syrup? No, I don't think anybody's ever said that. There's a cough syrup that comes out of Canada. It's called Buckley's. And Buckley's doesn't try to mask the flavor of their cough syrup. It tastes horrible. They actually lean into it. In their advertising, they say it tastes like sweaty gym socks and trash bag leakage. Their point is it tastes awful because it works. They amplify that fact in lopsiding. In 1957, Disneyland had only been open for 2 years, and Walt was an idea guy. In November, he said, right, for the entire month of December, we're going to do a parade right down Main Street. It was going to cost Disney $350,000. And that's over $4 million today. Well, of course, his accountants heard that, and they flipped out. The finance guys found Walt, and they sat him down and said, Walt, don't do the parade. They said, not only is it going to cost a ton of money, but these people are already in the park. They're not expecting it. They're not even going to miss it. Walt looked at his accountants, and he smiled, and he said, that's exactly why we need to do the parade. He said, here at Disneyland, we always need to give a little more than what people expect. He said, because if we don't and they decide not to come back, it's going to cost us over 10 times the amount of money to get them to come back. Walt had a mantra, and he called it plussing. And his mantra was always exceed expectations. And he challenged his Imagineers to do a little extra. What's the signature extra that you provide? What's going to make them tell their friends about that experience? Because here's the honest truth. The little things can make the biggest difference.